Patch 0.1.4 addressed several friction bugs and improved the save system. However, it did not resolve 4 critical bugs that a lot of you have reported. Let's start with the bugs that look wrong, but won't cost you any progress in your game. The first one is the tooltip being stuck on screen. The UI element will stay on the screen after you've moved the cursor away or after you've clicked somewhere else. This will disappear if you open up another interaction UI or interact with the UI. Or at least it should. Nonetheless, it is a cosmetic bug and you can still play the game despite the bug occurring. The next bug that you might recognize is the barbells disappearing at the gym when you go away. You should not find this bug in your game anymore, but if you do, please do tell the devs about it. The next bug that seems to be fixed that a lot of players have reported is the phantom door or window in build mode. Now, you used to be able to recreate this by selecting a door or window, have it out here, and then going into the color swatch and changing the color swatch. And when you did that, phantom door window would just drop here on the ground. Thankfully, that has been fixed. But if by any chance you do come across something like this again, what you want to do is save the game, exit to the main menu, and then reload the game to clear any phantom items that might have appeared. Another bug that you might have come across is incorrect UI text. Some interface elements may display incorrect or placeholder text. This is likely a localization issue. It's cosmetic, and it doesn't really matter, you can still play the game. Hopefully they will patch any instances of incorrect text very soon. The next bugs that we want to talk about are bugs that won't corrupt your save, but they will interrupt your session and tear you out of the immersion if you come across them. So the first bug is pathfinding. And if you have in your options the path line turned on, you might notice that sometimes you tell them to go in a certain spot and they'll pass that spot and then double back to reach where you told them to go to. Or sometimes they might even walk to the wrong location despite you telling them where to go. In other words, you might tell them to go to the mountaintop and instead they go to the bottom of the mountain and stop. So if this happens to you, all you have to do is cancel the action and try again. And as you can see here, my para has chosen a different route that is more direct. A bit of an interesting route, but it is still more direct, and she doesn't double back on herself with this new route. And now 0.1.4 has fixed a specific pathfinding issue with the train tunnel over in the industrial district. So for those of you who don't know, this train tunnel here is interactable. You can click on it and have your para go through the tunnel. And there have been some reports of people not being able to access this tunnel, not being able to click on it. But that is now fixed. Your para will exit down here in the valley. Another friction bug is several different town eagles show false completion. That means that the task will show as complete even though you haven't completed it. This bug has been confirmed by multiple players across several different goals, including the life goals and daily goals that you might get through your story maker. You should, however, be able to do the task and turn it in. If for some reason you're not able to do so, you might have to wait until the bug has been resolved. Now, the next bug has to do with the microwave in the game, breaking the action queue. In this instance, using the microwave will sometimes cancel all your subsequent queued actions. There is a workaround for this. Queue the microwave last, or re-queue your actions manually after using the microwave completes. There is something that you do need to note. 0.1.4 1.4 patch fixed a related cooking bug where the oven would interrupt cooking if placed in a too tight of a space. In other words, you just would not be able to cook if the oven was put in too small of a space. That has been fixed, but the microwave issue is still being reported by some players. So the next bugs are your critical bugs. These are bugs that can completely ruin your save, so you need to be really careful with these. The latest patch has improved the save system overall, but the developers have confirmed in the patch notes that the save file corruption is still possible in rare cases. So the first bug is things floating in the air when you load your save. This can happen on any lot, but I've found it happens most often with things like this fire hydrant here, or in the general store like this with the shelves. So if this happens to you, do not save the game in this state. You want to quit the game without saving, then reload the game. Or if you switch to another household and then switch back to your original household, this might fix the bugs. The next bug that you might come across is when you get a black screen when you start the game. Now there are 3 variants to this: a plain black screen, a re-importing assets loop, and a screen that just shows clouds. Now, there's multiple things that can cause this bug, and that could include a corrupted app data folder, a conflict with your mods, or your antivirus blocking file access. The official fix is at paralives.com, and I'll put the link down in the description so that you can go check that out. There is one update from 0.1.4 that you do need to be aware of, that 0.1.4 patch did fix. If you've previously launched the game from the main menu and your game appeared to freeze, that was not a true black screen bug. It was just your mods hanging up the loading process of the game. That has now been resolved. You will see a loading mods screen instead. If you're still seeing a black screen after the 0.1.4 patch, the app data fix where you delete your app data file and reload the game should fix that issue. The final game-breaking bug that you might come across is the whole town missing when you load up your save. Your save loads, but every single building is gone. If this happens to you, then what you want to do is replace the .town folder from a new save to your current save via your app data path. There's a developer documented fix at paralives.com. I've put the link again in the description of the video if you want to see that specific fix. Another bug that you might come across is a full-on corrupted save. This might result in you being stuck on the loading screen when you try to load up an existing save. You can start a new game, but your old save will just hang indefinitely. This is the most critical bug so far in early access. The official fix is documented at paralives.com/news/fix save files. The link, as always, is in the description for you. We have some good news from the developers, though. They are currently working on a multiple autosave system so that you can roll back a previous save. So I want to talk about 2 things that are not actually bugs, but they may confuse you if you come across them in the game. Let's say that you've built your house and you want to copy this entire floor. You can click on the floor in your house and then select this duplicate floor. And what this does is it duplicates the floor plan of the story that you selected, and it pastes it on the floor above. It does actually copy all of your furniture as well. However, you can only do this for the entire floor. You cannot choose a specific room and just copy that. Also, be aware that if you decide that you don't want that floor copied, you hit Control Z, sometimes some of the furniture might stay. That is a bug. Another thing that might confuse you is in relation to food. So let's say that you cook a group portion of food, such as a pizza. Now, if you're on your own lot, you can add this entire group portion into your inventory. And if you're on your home lot, you can place it down. Now, that sounds very cut and dried, right? No problems there. However, if you are in a lot that is not owned by your para, there's no option to put the food that you cooked into your inventory. This is not a bug, it's just the reasoning behind it is not obvious when you first come across it. So if you are doing a rags to riches playthrough where you start without a lot, just be aware you cannot make any food and put it in your inventory. And if you have food in your inventory, you will not be able to place it anywhere except for on your lot. Paralives Early Access is playable in its current state. The cosmetic bugs are minor, the gameplay friction bugs are manageable, and the 0.1.4 patch resolved several reported bugs. Critical bugs are still in the game and are still being reported by players. However, the developers are improving the game every day. If your Paralives save file is already corrupted, I've got a video for that. Click over here to watch that. Stay safe, stay hydrated, and I'll see you over there.